We're in Westport in Ireland, and we're going to hike to the top of one of Ireland's most famous mountains, which is Croagh.
Yeah!
So let's go!
Let's go!
Of course, Croagh is named after the patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick. And you can see the top of the mountain behind the statue of St. Patrick. So that's where we're going. Just look at this panorama of Clew Bay. Absolutely dramatic with all these little islands. There's supposed to be one island for every day of the year, or so they say. You can see all the way as far as Achill Island in the distance. And then back this way is towards Westport. Highly recommend visiting this part of Ireland if you've never been before. It's one of the most beautiful towns and places, in my humble opinion.
It absolutely is. Can't imagine anywhere nicer than here. You have everything. You have the mountains, you have the sea, you have a lovely town. Best place in Ireland, if not, best place in Europe.
Well, folks, it's January at the moment, but you wouldn't know it today. It's really warm. We've just started the ascent up the mountain, and already, don't know about you, but I'm too warm right now.
Yeah.
So I think we have too many layers on. I don't know what temperature it is. Last night it was pretty cold and raining, but it must be around at least 10 degrees, I'd say, right now in the sun.
Yeah, it feels
Maybe
like
a
it.
little bit warmer. Every year people come to Croagh to climb the mountain in their bare feet as a pilgrimage. So fair play to them, because this is a very rocky mountain, and as you can see, the rocks are very, very sharp, so that would be quite something to do in your bare feet and some dedication. So fair play to those people. In the bay behind me are what's left behind from the last ice age, which ended about 12,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, when all the ice melted. And you have these features called drumlins. So they're the lumps of rock in the sea behind me. And these drumlins are there because there's some more resistant, harder rock on the on one end of the drumlin, and the ice couldn't erode that part of the rock away because it was too resistant. And you have these kind of streaks of clay and earth left behind them that form the islands behind the leading rock, and left those little islands behind that you can see in the distance. I can't remember the exact number of those islands in Clew Bay, but there's quite a lot of them. And that's your little geography and geology lesson over and done with for today. Of course, you wouldn't be in Ireland without the local wildlife. Plenty of sheep about. So as you can see, we have some ways to go. So it looks like the route takes us up and around over this hill and then up the mountain. In the distance here we have Clare Island, and to the right you can see Achill Island, recently made famous in the film The Banshees of Inisherin. If you haven't seen that film, it came out about a year and a half ago. I strongly recommend check it out. Absolutely brilliant film. Gives you a good sense of what life in the west of Ireland was like in the early 20th century. Carrying today in my backpack my proper camera. So it's a full frame Sony Alpha camera, and I've got a 100 to 400 millimeter zoom lens on it, so when we get to the top I'll be able to get some footage of the islands. That will be hopefully quite spectacular. Something I absolutely love about Ireland is how fresh the air is. I think it's one of the cleanest places in Europe in terms of air quality, and you really feel it when you're by the Atlantic Ocean in a place like this. You really feel your lungs full of fresh air.
Fresh and cool air.
Fresh and cool air, but when you're sweating walking up a mountain like this, it is nice to feel that fresh January air around you. If you look at a map, it's best to not be deceived by the height of Croagh. It is only 764 meters above sea level, but that is starting at sea level, or just 1 or 2 meters above sea level. So it's a lot higher than you think, because often when you hike mountains, of course, when you start them, you're already considerably high up before you start. So this is really around 764 meters from actual sea level, close to where you start down there. Well, you don't need to be mega fit to do this walk. I would recommend wearing good footwear with decent grips, because it's quite rocky. It's a very easy path in the sense it's very well laid out, but it's rocky and steep, so make sure you have good legs and a good pair of shoes on. Well folks, the jackets have come off and we're feeling the climb a little bit with our heavy clothing. So even though the air is pretty fresh, we've taken a few layers off. I'm sure we'll be glad of our jackets when we get to the top, because I bet it's going to be freezing cold.
Oh yeah.
But for now, we'll try to cool down.
We climbed all that
So far, and we still have
the weird thing.
most of the mountain to go.
Yeah. The weird thing, Croagh does not look like it's getting any closer to us, does it?
Yeah, because you kind of go up this big hill first, as I pointed out at the start, and then you still have to do the main peak after the hill. So it's a little deceptive. Well deserved. Kind of stormed up the mountain pretty fast so far. By the way, if you're looking to park down at the car park at the base of the mountain, it's €3 for the whole day, so not too bad. So this is our first glimpse over the other side of Croagh, kind of looking down in the direction of Connemara, beyond those mountains there. But the wind has picked up a bit now that we're a bit more exposed.
Yeah, you can probably hear that on the microphone. It's quite windy now.
So I think our jackets will soon be coming back on. So you can see now a clearer view of the peak of Croagh. It seems that we need to go up the side here. It looks like they have toilets halfway up the mountain. So,
hey, women, men, my knowledge of Irish is just impeccable.
yeah, Mná fear. So yeah, if you need to stop for a leak on the way up the mountain, you have some public toilets. And not many mountains boast public toilets halfway up, I think.
I don't think I remember any mountains boasting public toilets halfway up it. That is not a ski slope.
We're almost halfway there, I think, or maybe a third. Certainly making good progress. We've come back to making YouTube videos after a break of about 14 months, and the reason for that is because I've been undergoing some very serious medical treatments over the past 14 months for a very serious medical condition. I still have 11 months left of treatment, and please God, everything will be fine. In the meantime, I'm trying to make more videos and get back into the channel and get the channel running again to help take my mind off of the treatment, and also to stay as fit as possible. I'm running 10 to 12 kilometers 5 to 6 days a week, and working out, doing lots of weights and all sorts of things. And I'd really appreciate if we could have your support on this channel, as it's been difficult, as you can imagine, if you're undergoing serious medical treatment for so long, trying to stay financially good and well, as well as physically and mentally good and well, is not easy. So if you could subscribe to this channel and follow our videos, hit the notification icon, share our channel with anyone that might be interested, and ask them to subscribe. It would be great to support us, and hopefully we can make this channel a success, and also a way of taking my mind off of everything that I'm going through and have been going through over this past 14 months. So that's the deal. So please follow our channel and subscribe and leave comments, and be a part of our travels, because we'll be going lots of places, doing lots of hikes, and visiting lots of interesting places over the coming months, please God. Whoa! For exclusive content, subscribe to our Patreon channel. We'd really appreciate it, and you will find lots of really, really cool stuff there to sink your teeth into.
You know what's crazy to think of?
What?
Some people.
Tell me, what is crazy to think?
Some people made those stairs. They brought all the rocks.
That is actually crazy to think
They
of.
did all that. Like, we're not struggling, but a tiny bit out of breath, going up at a fast pace, in fairness. But some people did that.
Check out that action. That's impressive. Yeah, it is very true. Imagine building these steps in Irish weather, with Irish wind and rain howling around you, because there's barely a day that goes by in the west of Ireland that there isn't rain and wind. So that would be quite the tall order to build that, eh? Would you look at that view behind us? So I'd say we're, 2/3 of the way up. It's getting pretty steep now. So continue on the rocky road to Croagh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
In the merry month of June. I can't remember how the rest of the words go. To the rocky road to Dublin, of course. Not the rocky road to Croagh. It doesn't exist, but it should do.
It should.
It gets steep up this part. Easy in the sense that there's loads of kind of rocks to step on, but it is steep. So you'd want to be of good fitness level to at least average fitness level. You could do it slowly, but you wouldn't want to have bad knees or any kind of issues like that. So just be prepared, have good shoes, and don't go if it's icy or in the snow. So I know this is not a fake hill or false hill or false mountaintop, because you can see the chapel on top of the mountain. So we're just about there now. It's actually quicker than it looks, because earlier it looked like it would take quite a while, but it ascends pretty fast. So when you go up the steeper part, it takes probably, I don't know, half an hour. There's a plaque over here. The summit, second station, a kneel. And say 7 Our Fathers, 7 Hail Marys and 1 Creed. Pray near the chapel for the Pope's intentions. Walk 15 times around the chapel saying 15 Our Fathers, 15 Hail Marys and 1 Creed. Walk 7 times around Laba Podrig saying 7 Our Fathers, 7 Hail Marys and 1 Creed. Third station, Relic Mira. So in a moment I'm going to take out my camera with my zoom lens and we'll get some shots of the landscape zoomed in a bit. Well, zoomed in quite a bit because it's a 100 to 400 millimeter zoom lens. Warning, the shots will not be very steady because there is not great stabilization on my Sony Alpha 3, but it has really good quality video nevertheless, so we'll see how we get on. So it's looking towards Connemara in the far distance, in the 12 Bends, which is a series of mountains, Connemara National Park. And as we go back over to the Atlantic Ocean, we have Clare Island and Achill Island, and back to Clew Bay. So in a moment I'll take out my zoom lens and we'll have a closer view of the landscape. There's the chapel to the side. So let's have a look at some video footage with this bad boy. Well, let's get a zoomed in view of the landscape.
Delivering poems of stories unknown, the lake is still, or so it seems. Drinking in the sound, whisper words aloud, discover thoughts and what they mean. Ask a songbird for stories unheard, it might reveal a thing or two. Realign your words into distant proverbs, believe in that which is true. Open your mind and set your thoughts aside to be free. Open your mind and set your mind's eye, nothing ever dies until the soul does ascend. Assisting what is real with exactly what you feel, mixed with truth without an end. Open your mind and set your thoughts aside to be free. Open your mind and set your thoughts aside to be free.
We just tried to have a look in the chapel, but it appears to be closed. Views are just absolutely epic. They really are breathtaking. Let's try the front or back entrance. I think it's the back entrance of the chapel. See if it's open or closed. No, it's closed. Because of the time of year, because it's January. And this is also closed. So we won't get to see inside the chapel, unfortunately. But we are blessed with this view. We are absolutely freezing, so we're going to have a bite to eat. I think it's well deserved.
Oh yes.
So let's get our sandwiches out. That sounds a bit weird. Let's get our sandwiches out.
Why does it sound weird?
I don't know. It just sounds a bit weird. I'd say it took, I don't know what time it is, but it took probably just a couple of hours to...
Not even.
Not even, no? What time is it now?
We left the car park around
Yeah.
noon, and we reached the summit at 1:37 exactly. So
1:37, okay. Well, an hour and a half approximately, plus we're filming, so that takes some time. So yeah, it's pretty fast actually if you keep a good pace. We spent 1 hour on top of Croagh enjoying the views and having lunch, and now we're going to head back down. So I'll put the camera away for a little while because it's pretty steep and I do not want to trip over while filming. So we will see you in a little while. We've made it back down the worst part of the mountain, the steepest part. So yeah.
yeah, it was almost longer to go down than to go up.
Yeah.
You have to be
That's
careful.
actually, yeah, it's quite it's not that it's so steep, it's more it's really easy to trip, so you really have to watch every step that you take to not trip over, and you really don't want to trip there because it would hurt a lot if you fell over. But yeah, as you can see, we're sort of probably more than halfway back down, and the sun is getting a little lower, it's getting a little cloudier. You can just see Croagh just sticking out above the hillside there. So we shall continue on down the trail. It's less cold now. It was freezing. It's funny how when we got to the top it was we were quite warm because obviously you're going up a steep mountain, but after spending an hour on the top, I can tell you in January it was absolutely freezing. We couldn't feel our fingers. I literally couldn't film until now because my fingers had gone numb. See a nice beautiful view of Clew Bay as we arrive to the final part of the walk. It's really stunning. Clew Bay just really just blows my mind, all these little islands. You can see there's like a little lighthouse over there. Should be in the video that I made with my zoom lens when I zoomed in on it. I always wondered what that lighthouse looked like because I remember seeing it years ago from the window of a pub called the Shebean. If you ever come to Westport, you should visit the Shebean pub. It's really kind of quintessential old Irish pub. I think it has a thatched roof on it, and out the window, I remember it was summertime and it was twilight. and just this blinking light of this lighthouse in the distance. I absolutely love lighthouses, and I think there's nothing more romantic than seeing a lighthouse off on the horizon. And yeah, I guess this was the lighthouse. It's this one down here, this little white dot. It's the lighthouse that we could see from the Shebean. But yeah, it's really incredible, all these little islands. And I think there's there's several stories about these islands that are interesting. I don't have the facts to hand, so don't quote me on it. But I think there's a story that one of the islands became some kind of hippie commune in the 1960s or 70s, which for the west of Ireland at the time was, you know, very, very traditional. So that was kind of strange. I don't know where the people came from that formed this hippie commune. I'm pretty sure it was one of these islands. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, or if you know if you have any additional information regarding these hippies. The other story is, I think one of the islands was owned by John Lennon. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing in a documentary or reading somewhere that one of these islands was owned by John Lennon. I don't know if it's still owned by Yoko Ono, but yeah. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our video. We have conquered Croagh behind us.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.